Hello everyone, Fred here. In this installment of TPP Dynamite, I'm going to be reviewing the young adult mystery novel All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. First things first though, if you haven't already, let me encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I post film, book, and TV series reviews. I do opinion pieces on entertainment, news, and affairs. I'm also an author of adult and young adult mystery novels. To date, I've released 3 books: The Women in White, The Lethal List, and most recently, Textbook Murder. They're all on sale now, and there are purchase links in my video description below. With that in mind, and without further ado, welcome to my spoiler-filled review of Diana Urban's YA mystery novel, All Your Twisted Secrets. This book opens as a 17-year-old music enthusiast and aspiring film composer, Amber Prescott, prepares to attend a mysterious dinner for scholarship recipients to which she and her longtime boyfriend, an aspiring baseball star named Robbie, have been invited by mail. The dinner is to be held in a particular room in the basement, now renovated as a bougie restaurant, of a high-end retail space. Amber drives to the dinner alongside Robbie, which creates silent tension for Amber because she's planning on breaking up with Robbie soon due to his rabidly toxic insistence that she shelve her career dreams and follow him to college as he pursues his own goals of baseball superstardom. When Amber and Robbie arrive at the dinner, they find that 4 of their other classmates, Sasha, Scott, Diego, and Priya, are also in the room, having been invited to the scholarship dinner as well. Amber has a deep and unpleasant history with each of these people. Sasha is a sadistic and manipulative queen bee whose machinations have ruined Amber's relationship with Priya. Priya is Amber's former best friend whom Amber lost in a bid to impress Sasha as part of an elaborate plan to pad her resume for college music program applications. Scott is a stoner and a drug dealer who Amber knows has been secretly dealing to Sasha and whom Amber dislikes because of his habitual crush on Priya. Diego is another former friend and strong potential love interest to Amber, despite that Amber had purposefully cut him out of her life because of his father's business partnership betrayal of her father. It isn't long before all 6 people realize that the dinner invitation was a ruse and that they're all locked in an escape-proof sauna of a room with a syringe of what appears to be poison, a device that appears to be a bomb, a timer with an hour-long fuse, and a note explaining that they must pick one of their number to die by the syringe within the hour or forfeit all of their lives to the bomb. At first, they go through the basic teenage motions of disbelief and mockery and snark. Then, as the time grows shorter and shorter, the aura of pettiness gives way to a more authentic wave of pure terror as they pool their heads to determine who would ever want one or more of them dead, and more importantly, whom they should pick to die in order to save the others. This book, despite its catchy and interesting premise, didn't seem particularly inspired to me. Now, that's not to say it wasn't a fun and even at times surprising and moving read, but it didn't seem to me to add very much to its kind. What do I mean by that? Well, by my math, books of the kind that include All Your Twisted Secrets either began or experienced a major 21st century resurgence soon after the 2017 release of Karen M. McManus's debut young adult mystery thriller novel, One of Us is Lying. That novel revolves around 5 sundry main characters who walk into detention together, only for one to keel over and die soon after. The investigators conclude that the death was not an accident. The dead kid had been planning to reveal juicy, ruinous secrets about each of the 4 survivors the next day. Each of the 4 had a history with the dead kid, as well as motives for murder and many secret sins that they definitely don't want exposed. Yet only by airing and coming to terms with their dirty laundry can the survivors solve the death, save themselves from suspicion, identify the real murderer, and grow individually and collectively. I have my issues with One of Us is Lying, but the novel did a terrific job of presenting a compelling take on what has, since its release, become something of a fixated storytelling formula in young adult mystery and thriller novels. Several troubled, diverse, foul-mouthed, generally horny teenagers, each of whom brings some sort of dark secret or hidden truth to the party, are sucked into trying circumstances under which they must solve a mystery in order to save their own skins from some dark fate. Along the way, each of the teens is forced to confront his or her many secret sins and personal issues. Most probably, the metastasizing fallout of one or more of the group's secrets or sins or issues is the reason for why the group faces its current crisis. Confronting those sins and issues and secrets is the protagonist's key to both solving the crisis and transforming from basically garbage human beings into better people by the end of the novel. Oh, and the novel also usually attempts to tackle heavy and triggering subject matter like suicide, peer pressure, acceptance, gender and sexuality, mental health, substance abuse, and other hot button concepts that'll draw the woke millennials' interest. One of Us is Lying stands out to me as the first book to take that concept, which I do believe was new enough at the time, and run with it. Maybe other novels did it before, maybe it was a trend that fizzled out and burst back with One of Us is Lying. Maybe the trend has always been around and One of Us is Lying just did it well enough to make it globally popular. Either way, One of Us is Lying did a relatively fine job of using this concept to create an outstanding character-driven mystery that includes a sobering amount of commentary about just what it means to be an American teenager looking for security and validation in today's world. But since One of Us is Lying came out, there has been a trend in YA mysteries and thrillers to basically repeat the same idea, but with just enough of a twist that the new book stands maybe a few feet apart from the growing number of similar works. And as one might have predicted from examining the now burned out magic craze in YA novels following Harry Potter's success, or the now burned out vampire craze following Twilight's, this new trend has fast become a game of diminishing returns. Most of these One of Us is Lying light books end up as less impressive, reductive takes on the original premise. All Your Twisted Secrets, I'm sorry to say, is one of those books that ends up that way. Which I suppose that's no real surprise when All Your Twisted Secrets, very blurred, categorizes it as quote-unquote reminiscent of One of Us is Lying, among other works. Now, All Your Twisted Secrets does have enough enjoyable differences and unique elements that it is distinguishable from the rest of the herd. The chapters are laying out in an alternating then-now format, following the protagonists over an hour in real time as they attempt to solve their main predicament, while reminiscing on 13 months of history that have essentially driven them to the point at which the main mystery begins. Half the chapters occur between 13 months and 4 hours prior to the story, half occur between 59 minutes and 5 seconds before the bomb is set to explode, and one end chapter occurs 35 minutes after the clock has run out. Time-structured chapter headings help build an impending sense of dread and urgency in the novel, as well as draw the reader in as a virtual participant in the unfolding situation. The entire story is told through Amber Prescott's first-person lens. Developments that affect other main characters are presented as they relate to Amber and her world. That provides a bit more singular focus in storytelling than you'd expect from similar novels in which 3 or more main characters tell a story in alternating chapters and basically vie for the reader's attention. Diana Urban makes brilliant use of the unreliable narrator device to deliver a twist ending that most readers likely wouldn't see coming unless they'd been paying very careful attention to the diction throughout the entire book, most particularly the last fourth. Each of these differences and unique elements, however, comes with its own set of very serious problems. The present past story style gives Diana Urban a very easy out to tell versus show the reader key elements of the intricate history of relationships that led the main characters into their present day crisis, and it's an out that Diana takes every last time. Relational dynamics that are of great importance in the present set chapters are spelled out repeatedly during the past set chapters, which are inserted the second that they become relevant to the present day bomb syringe crisis. Using a single voice to tell a story starring 6 people is helpful in maintaining a focused narrative, but it also risks underservicing the arcs of the other 5 lead characters. Diana unfortunately doesn't quite rise to the challenge here. Amber is interesting enough, but the use of her exclusive voice really limits how much development and agency the other 5 get to that which Amber herself believes that they received. The book's amazing twist ending was immediately and completely undone within the book's last chapter, making for a true ending to the story that felt tacked on and unsatisfying given that the entire book had been a build-up to the twist ending. All Your Twisted Secrets, as seems to be par for the course amongst its sort, also tackles a great deal of potentially triggering subject matter, including suicide, mental health, peer pressure, popularity, drug abuse, and domestic violence. But while it explores those subjects with reasonable competence, in my opinion, it doesn't handle them as well as some preceding novels of like kind have. And the answers that it offers seem to be far more open-ended and far less optimistic. Okay, brass tacks. All Your Twisted Secrets is a relatively entertaining and well-structured book, but one that doesn't add anything particularly new or interesting to the suite of similar works of its kind. It's basically a good lazy Saturday read. I give Diana Urban's All Your Twisted Secrets a solid 3 cronuts out of 5. At any rate, that's just my opinion. Let me know yours. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Are your feelings more complex? Sound off in the comments below. Meanwhile, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, click subscribe, ring that bell, and hey, follow me on social media as well. So long.